Well, hello everybody and welcome to your language teaching and learning channel. My name is Santiago and the objective is to address the different challenges involved in language learning and to share tips and suggestions in these short videos that you can watch whenever you need a little break or a change of pace. Now, if you watched the last video that I did, you're probably wondering why I have all this here. When I told you that I will be talking about the secret of learning a language, right? So I would like you to bear with me for a little while because this is related to that, right? I'm sure you guys all know this and this obviously very famous person, okay? This over here, these are the formulas in physics related to motion and specifically the motion involved in riding a bicycle, okay? Now, just follow me for a little while, okay? Suppose we would dedicate a whole semester to analyzing this, to learning from the beginning, from the very basic formulas, the little things. And in the beginning, you find it difficult. But as we progress, you understand it, it's more clear to you. And I give you a little test here and there, and you begin to improve, to learn. And by the end of the semester, you can actually master all this, okay? And you know the formulas like the back of your hand, and you can apply them, okay? Now, you're so happy you finished the semester, you did the final exam, you passed, okay? And then you go to the store and you buy yourself a bicycle, okay? Now, assuming that you had never ridden a bicycle before, okay? And you already finished the semester analyzing the physics involved in the movement of a bicycle, and then you buy a bicycle, will you be able to ride it? No, you won't, right? Why? And this is the secret, you see? Because you never practiced it, okay? You learned all this, you analyzed it, okay? But you never actually did this, the action, okay? And this is the concept that I want you to make the relationship, because it's the same with language learning. Okay, in language learning we may have a lot of vocabulary. Okay, maybe the students memorized 500 irregular verbs. They know the structures, okay, but they never went to this. Okay, they never really used it. And I'm sure you've noticed that. Many of your students, you know, they say, but teacher, you know, I have a really good grade in the grammar test. Okay, but then when I was doing the speaking presentation, I got a really terrible grade. It's the same thing, you see? You mastered this, but you didn't do this. Okay? Students have an exam in any topic, okay? Let's say gerunds and infinitives, okay? Which usually proves to be challenging. But, you know, you take quite a few days to go over the basics, and these verbs are followed by gerunds, these by infinitives. You give them a test and they do great in the test. But whenever they have to do a speaking activity, they need to do a presentation, or you have a debate, or you ask them to write a paragraph or an essay, and they need to use that structure, they will usually use it incorrectly. Okay? The same as with the bicycle, right? Even though you know all this, when you get the bicycle, you won't be able to ride it immediately. You will fall. Many times, it's the same thing. You have the language, you have the vocabulary, you have the structure. When you start doing this, you will have problems. This is why you need to practice. Okay? Please think of a skill that you learned. Okay? Could be anything. For example, playing an instrument, swimming, biking, skiing, okay? Think of the first time you tried it. It was very hard, wasn't it? It was difficult. You fell over when you were skiing. Learning to play the guitar, for example. Maybe the first time you didn't even know how to hold it, but little by little, you know, you learn the chords, then you learn to strum, and then you learn to synchronize them. The chords and strumming is the same with the language, okay? So that's the secret. You need to practice. Okay? Simple enough and to the point, right? And there is the old saying, right? Practice makes perfect. But maybe you're saying, but Santiago, I've been practicing and I keep making mistakes and I still don't get it. This was brought to my attention by a very dear friend of mine. She's also a teacher. Her name is Consuelo. And she said, practice makes perfect, but when you practice correctly. If you practice incorrectly, you will continue to make mistakes. And this is something that you need to pay attention to. Maybe you've been practicing and you're not improving, maybe because you're not practicing correctly. There are other things that need to be taken into account. There are cultural aspects, okay? We're not very persistent. We're very impatient, okay? We need immediate results, right? And, this is not being very realistic, okay? There is no magic potion, you drink it and, whoa, I speak English, I learned English, very good. There is no magic wand, like Harry Potter, poof, oh my God, I learned Japanese, konnichiwa, right? There is no magic, right? This is not the Matrix, this is not Neo, you're not Neo. You connect it to your brain and the computer, and poof, wow, I learned Latin. That's not true, that's not being very realistic. You need to practice. And no matter how many mistakes you make, be aware of the mistakes and improve them. The same as when you ride a bicycle. Okay? You fall, you get up, you do it again, and that's it. Right? And the more you practice correctly, the better you become. Other problems we have, of course, are when it comes to the classroom, we have a limited amount of time to dedicate to practicing. Okay? The real practice comes outside of the classroom, and then that's the student's responsibility. Okay? But it's important to practice correctly. So this is what I want you to see. You see, I want you to see this connection from here to here. Okay? You may be able to master all this. Okay? But you will not be able to do this unless you practice it. The same with the language. You will have the vocabulary, you will have the structures and everything, but you need to use it, okay, in order to perfect it. I want you to see that connection, okay? And this is what we will be doing in the next 4 videos. Okay, language, there are 4 skills, listening, reading, writing, and speaking. So we will dedicate the next videos to each of the skills, okay? We will analyze how to take full advantage of the limited amount of class time that we have in order to practice, how to practice outside the class correctly, so that students actually begin to see an improvement, and rather than becoming discouraged and giving up, they feel motivated to continue with their language learning process. Okay, so there you go. As I promised, there's a secret, but you have to do it correctly, right? And now it's up to you to apply it and improve in your language learning, right? I hope you like this video and you join me for the next video. Meanwhile, happy learning.